In a land where the wild calls and the sky stretches endless, a lone spirit awakens with the dawn. This spirit, forged in the fires of tradition, is bound not by place, but by purpose. It travels through time, carried by those who seek the heart of the wilderness. Who am I kidding? It's a rifle case.
I hunt animals in the pursuit of life. Life lived and life taken. I believe it's through this dance with nature and the wild places that we truly live, connect, and grow. I'm Chris Waters, the Huntsman, and these are my stories.
So we're back here in New South Wales with my friend Dwayne. We're hunting on a property he has access to. There are goats, pig and deer here. It's getting late in the day though, so we're going to set up and get nice and warm and cozy, and then tomorrow we'll go out and do some hunting. So there's a bit of a fog and a mist covering like the canopy of this valley. It's making it hard to see, and glass the other side. You see it just swirling over the top. So hopefully that burns off soon. Give us a bit more clarity on what we're looking at. So right now I'm just looking at those two sides and going, do we go on this side of the valley or this side of the valley? And I think it's going to come down to how much coverage we have. So here's a cool little tip you can use when you're glassing for long periods of time. You're sitting down, lots of people use their knees, and I'll brace their knees and I'll put an elbow on each knee and do this. And that works, but sometimes I find that tiring. So what I like to do is make my hand like this and stick it in the binos like this, and then do this. So all your fine movement is controlled by your fingers, and you're barely moving your hands at all. And it takes most of the weight, and then if you get tired, you can switch the other hand. Otherwise, I rarely do that. I usually keep it on there. My friend Dodge likes this approach where you put it like this, under your chin. So, this is a terrible insight into making a hunting TV show. But we were like, let's just go film some cool little bits of like walking, and Desiree gets into position. I was like, fox, 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 move, move, move. Like quickly jump up, and this beautiful red fox, European red fox, just ran down like probably 60 then to 120 meters. And like, quick, get the camera on him, get the camera on him. And didn't get it on him in time, and so we didn't get a chance to pull the trigger, but I was so close to doing it. That's really good. The wind is like huffing up this valley. Valleys often have that effect where they become these wind tunnels and they suck the air up through them. And so if you get to the top of the valley or the head of the valley, you can kind of move down through it and have constant wind. But the wind can change once you get into the deep kind of base of the valley, so you need to be careful. But while it's like this, while it's chuffing up, best to get a move on and see what we can see. That little patch of ferns and bracken with the rocks at the base of it, that's where the fox came out of and ran up there. So I reckon he might even have a little den in there. Like foxes like to have their dens in these piles of boulders and big rocks, and they generally have a few different entrances. But you can see there's a bit of a game trail that leads up into that little spot. So when you're hunting in a valley, there is a temptation to want to get right down to the base of the valley because that's where it's the most dense, that's where it's the most interesting. But you need to avoid that temptation as much as possible and stay on one of the wings, one of the faces of the valley so that you can see down. Because once you get down there, it's quite deceptive. You'll find yourself surrounded by timber and shrubs and brush, and you won't see anything. You'll maybe be able to see on either of the faces, but you'll also find that there's a lot of water down there and it just slows you down. So where possible, if you're hunting through a valley or a system like that, try to stay about 50% down the edge of one of the faces and just contour that all the way down. Here's a cool little tip if you're new to orienteering or hunting valleys or just moving through the bush. Valleys like this tend to start quite tight at the head of the valley, where there's two spurs or ridges kind of heading off in different directions. And then you'll find as the further you get down the valley, it will start to open up and widen. So if you lose context of where you are in terms of the height of the valley, just kind of get a sense of how wide that base is. Obviously, the wider the base, the more grasses are going to be there, but the more open. So you'll see animals moving through the base all the time, but it's easier for you to get seen. So just be mindful of that as you're moving through a valley. There's a man over here. I'm just going to see how close I can get to her. We'll see. That's not promising. She's just dead. Look there, can you see? If you go down there, you'll be able to see her. You'll be able to see me. You guys. Just run up there, G. Yeah. So if you stay here, I'll kill her. He didn't want a bar of it. It's fun though. It's really important when you're in a place like this or you're out hunting to make sure you stop and appreciate it. So much of hunting is like fibers from all these different things interwoven into the tapestry. And when you say you love hunting, what you really mean is that you love hiking, you love stalking, you love nature, you love camping, you love watching animals, all these different elements together. And sometimes on a hunt you can get so focused and driven and you're like, where's the animal, that you miss out on everything else. So it's always a good point to remember when you're out in a place like this, just take a moment, stop, look at the nature, not looking for animals, just look at the nature, take a big breath, breathe it all in, and then just soak and appreciate that space. Because if you love this space and you love moving through it and exploring it and participating in it, you'll enjoy a hunt even if you don't succeed. and you'll want to come back and do it again, even if you don't succeed. If you barrel through and you're just trying to shoot an animal and then you don't, you're far more likely not to want to come back and enjoy. Just like, look at this. It's just awesome. Just enjoy it. So you see here, this plant has been nibbled on. All the tips have been bitten off. That's because the tips of the plants have all the sweet sugars in them. And you can see even along here, all these plants have been nibbled off at the top. So I don't know what's eating it, but something likes that plant. It's fairly fresh too. So we're getting to the end of this hunt. The animals will start bedding down and there's really no point trying to push them out and take rushed quick shots. I think that's actually important to release, videos like this where you don't necessarily see something in a particular hunt. Like we'll go out tomorrow and hopefully we'll get something tomorrow. But for now I think we'll pack up and head back up the valley. So if you remember the first time you went in to buy your first rifle, shopkeeper would have asked you what your budget is. And what he's asking you is, what's your budget for a rifle and a scope? What he should really be asking you is what your budget was for a rifle, a scope, and a gun case. Honestly, they are an essential item that you have to have if you're serious about shooting, you're serious about your rifle, you're serious about hunting. I absolutely love this one. This is from Evolution Gear. It's a fantastic case, incredibly versatile, from a company in Melbourne who actually care about hunting and shooting. You can lock it down securely. It's got a soft case here, has 2 compartments so you can have a rifle on top. You've got a separator in the middle and you have a rifle on the bottom. And then there's a hard case as well that you can use when you're traveling, especially when you're traveling overseas or interstate and flying. This is an absolute must have. And probably the coolest feature, apart from keeping your rifle shooting straight, you can put patches on the front, which obviously is something that I'm a huge fan of. So if you haven't already got a rifle case, definitely invest in one. And I encourage you to check out Evolution Gear. I'm a huge fan of their stuff.
Given we didn't see any deer yesterday, the plan today was to drive to a different area, hike up a track and explore a new system, one that would hopefully hold fallow. I've been told that fallow deer had recently been seen in the region, however I was warned that they've been particularly flighty of late, and getting the crosshairs on a buck with enough time to shoot might be hard. But that's why we hunt, right? It's for the challenge. If it were easy, it wouldn't be worth doing. They're 300 meters away. And they're moving up over that lip. Oh, quick. We'll hightail it. That's so annoying. Those bucks have disappeared. But there's another group of does here. I don't think they're the same. Let's keep moving. We're trying to stalk up on these deer, and this goes 20 meters from us, like
4 billies just right there. Firing. I don't know if I hit him. I don't know if, did you get that? I don't know if I hit him. That shot felt good, but he didn't jump, like he didn't spring or, and when he moved, he didn't hobble. All right, let's go up the rocks and have a look. It all happened very quickly. A doe and a spiky feeding along this gully. We were literally, we're 300 meters from where we started and we were moving back up it. Jumped down, quickly set up and take a really rush shot on this spiky. And he came up the hill. I didn't hear the impact. He kind of came left and then right. Let's go up and have a look at him. Quartering on. But I reckon that's through the heart. That's a good one, that. Nice. He'll be awesome, mate. He wouldn't have been rutting. He doesn't smell. Beautiful. It's black. Jesse Ray, our cameraman, wants to field dress this one, so Jesse Ray, go for it, my friend.
Breaking down an animal into meat isn't everyone's cup of tea. There's a lot of blood, sometimes strong smells, and a fear of the unknown. But what is interesting is that growth-minded individuals only have to see it done a few times before either curiosity or a desire to learn takes over, overpowering the discomfort.
Yeah, that's a hard shot.
It's a beautiful thing.
So over the course of this season, we've cooked some really cool meals with this Carnivore Collective rubs and wild game meat. But I realized there's a really simple dish that we haven't done, and because I'm not a great cook, I figured we'd do it tonight. And that is medallion steaks. This here is the Carnivore Collective pepper steak rub. So this is some of the backstrap here that just a cameraman cut out of the back of a deer with Dwayne's help, which is really cool. So what we're gonna do is, we're just gonna grab a piece of this. We're gonna grab this pepper steak, and all we're gonna do is coat it. We're gonna do a really heavy rub on top of this. Rub it all in, flip it, do the same thing again. We're gonna go hard on this. Rub it all through this backstrap, give it a roll around. So with our backstrap now seasoned, what we're going to do is we're going to sear it here on the barbecue. I'm just going to give it a bit of a spray with canola oil so that it doesn't stick. And we've got it on high. Usually I like to cook things on the barbecue on a really low heat, but because we're searing it, we're trying to lock in all of that flavor, all of that liquid, and then we'll kind of cook through later. So I'm going to just grab a piece and just lay it down. And you want to hear that sizzle straight away. Alright, so this one's ready, seared on all sides, so we're just going to chuck it in the middle of the alfoil. I'm going to wrap it up quickly. Nice and tight.
if you want it to basically bake. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go to the fire, we're gonna grab some coals, put them aside, and then we're gonna chuck this right next to the coals. That looks good.
Beautiful. Nice.
Which one? Which one are you taking? No. Take whatever you want.
Beautiful.
There we go.
Oh, look, here we go.
Here we go. Come in.
Chef extraordinaire.
Oh, and the juices.
Is this fresh venison?
Yeah, I think you're poisoned.
This is awesome. Thank you.
Now, the best thing about this dish is that if you cooked it right, you won't even need a sauce. You'll have your friends and family fighting over who gets to mop up the juices. Now, if you're interested in trying out the Carnivore Collective meat range or their wild game cooking appliances, you can use the discount below. And finally, if you haven't already checked out the other hunting episodes in season 2 of The Huntsman, you're missing out. You've been left in the dark. You're the boat hasn't sailed yet. The curtain hasn't dropped. I don't know. There are wild deer, goat, duck, and even a camel hunt that you can check out. So to catch up on what you've missed, you can head over to the Huntsman website or watch the episodes via the season 2 playlist on the Huntsman YouTube channel. Otherwise, till next time, happy hunting.